Hey, hello everyone. Today we're going to be walking you through your lesson 11, all right, classwork. We're going to hold off on any entrance slips that we've got going on and jump right into it. So I'm going to walk you through pretty much everything here today. So you can just simply grab onto the rope and I'll pull you along. Certainly, if you want to work a little bit ahead of me and pause and fast forward, you certainly have those particular options. So as you can see here, we are in your class work packet. All right. We're gonna. Ooh, you know what we're gonna do first here is let's look at lessons 9 and 10. I know some of you had started filling in the tables, have all the tables filled in, part of the tables filled in. But what I'm interested in here is just looking at this question number 5, because this is what you're going to use a lot of in this particular unit. So it gives a nice little introduction and just simply a way of moving forward. So we got ourselves a nice little table here with blue and red. We got paint here. We're making purple, all right? But they make some pretty good comments here. For example, it says, what is the value of the ratios? Well, remember for the value, all right, you got to simplify it. So we've got to figure out of what we can end up dividing by. So in this particular case, we got to look at what we've got and figure out, what can we pull out of each of them? So when you look at the 12 and the 3, we can divide both of them by 3. So take that 12 and divide it by 3, and you're going to get a 4. Take that 3 and divide it by 3, and you're going to get a 1. And then if we slide forward 20 to 5, you can divide both of those by the number 5. So take 20 and divide it by 5, you're going to get a 4. 5 divided by 5, you're going to get a 1. What you're going to notice here is every single time when we simplify it, we're going to get this exact same ratio. So what is the value of the ratio? Yeah, it's 4 to 1. All right. They did want you to support your answer. So, and that's what we're doing here. So we can divide both of those guys by 7. Hey, you're going to get a 4. You're going to get a 1. Divide both of those guys, 36 and 9, divide them both by 9, and you're going to get a 4 and 1 as well. Okay, so what we're really interested in here is these next questions that are moving forward. And what is the pattern in the blue column? So if we're looking at the blue column there, what's their pattern? So what are you doing to work your way down from number to number? And you should see that we are adding an 8 every single time. So we can just use symbols like that. There's nothing wrong with that at all. What's the pattern in the red column? So if we go up and we look at all the red numbers that are here, 3, 5, 7, 9. Well, each time we're adding a 2. And now what we want you to notice is we're jumping from left to right. So what's the pattern from the blue to the red? So if we're going to go from the blue side to the red side, so a 12 to a 3, a 20 to a 5, a 28 to a 7. What are you doing every single time? And oh, by the way, it needs to be the same. So each time you are dividing by 4. Yeah, we're dividing by a 4. So yeah, we are dividing by a 4. Now, if we go the opposite way, all right, and this is one of the patterns we're going to know, and I don't even have to look at the table there. What's the opposite of if we go to the right and we divide by 4? If we go to the left, all right, opposites, we're going to multiply by 4. And that's one of the things that we want to make sure that we're comfortable doing is when we do go that opposite way, it's going to be the opposite operations. Okay, so let's get into lesson number 11. Lesson 11 is about using the tables. One, we can use the value, which we have been doing. So we see a little bit more of that from that lesson 9 and 10. And then we're going to show you what happens when the tables don't match up. So here we go. Use the ratio tables to who's the faster swimmer. So what we can do here is it says show your work and explain the method. Okay, well, using the value method here would get us to simplify, and that's certainly a technique that's going to end up working. So if I simplify 3 to 75, I can actually divide them both by 3. And again, calculator in hand, nothing wrong with that. Don't mind the calculator here. But if we take that ratio of 3 to 75 and we divide them both by 3, think about quarters. All right, it takes 3 quarters to make the 75 cents. All right, go money here. So yeah, we got 1 to 25. And then we can come on down right over here, and we can grab any of these. I'm going to grab this guy. Yeah, let's divide them both by 10. So if I divide them both by 10, get those down there. 10 divided by 10 is 1. 260 divided by 10, yeah, 26. All right, so who's faster? Okay, well, this in 1 minute we go 25 meters, or in 1 minute we go 26 meters. Well, the person that's going farther in that same 1 minute is the faster one. So this one is, it's Eva here. All right. So yeah, I think the value, simplifying each ratio, is definitely a good way to go here. There are other ways, which we'll kind of see as we move our way down here. All right. So here we got a 120-pound person would weigh about 20 pounds on the moon, and a 150-pound person would weigh about 28 pounds on low. All right. And you might as well ask, well, what's low? Well, it's a moon of Jupiter. Use the ratio table to determine which moon would make person weigh the most. Okay. So before we were using the value to simplify it. Okay. But one of the things that we can watch for in ratio tables is to see if numbers show up again. Let's show you what we're talking about here. So 120-pound person, all right, weighs 20 pounds on the moon. So we're creating the ratio table. So we're just going to use repeat addition. So 120, add another 120, 240, add another 120, 360, add another 120, and add another 120. All right. Again, on the moon here, repeat addition. So it's starting with the 20. So keep adding a 20. 40, 60, 80, 100. All right. So again, repeat addition. And now we got a 150-pound person, and they weigh 28 pounds on that Jupiter's moon. So again, repeat addition. Add a 150 each time. 300, 450, 600, 750. All right. And then repeat additions with 28. All right. 56, add another 28 on, 484, add another 28 on, 2, carry the 1, 112, add another 28 on, 140. All right. So the whole point of this here is let's find numbers that match up. Okay. I see a 120, no 120s. 240s, no. 360s, no. 480s, no. Oh, 600, 600. So check this out. 600 here. Let's circle. Go and circle. The idea here is 600 pounds on the moon weigh 100. 600 pounds on Earth would weigh 112. So use ratio tables to determine which moon will make a person weigh the most. Well, when they weigh the same on Earth, it's Jupiter's moon that they're going to weigh the most on. So it's the weight on Jupiter's moon. Okay, so that's important thing we did here. Or we used the values. We simplified. And the key thing is this. We're trying to get to the same number. When we simplified it, look who showed up. A 1. Look who showed up. A 1. They don't need to be a 1 always. They just need to be the same number. So in your ratio table, as long as they are the same number, and again, 600 on Earth, 600 on Earth, then I can compare the other two. And that's what we're after here today. So let's look at the next page. All right. It says look at the 3 tables, put the order from juice containing the most water to the least water. Okay. So first of all, they want us to do the values. And again, that's what we're going for. We're looking at the 2 techniques here. So we can divide them both by 2. All right. So we're going to get a 2 to 1. And again, I can divide these guys both by 8, 2 to 1. And a shoots there. I can take this and divide them both by 5. Yeah. So that's a 5 to 1. And then here, I can take both these guys and divide them both by 4. So that's going to be 3 to 1. All right. From the most water to the least water. Okay, so when they all had the same juice concentrates, because that's the second number. So when they all had the same juice concentrates, all right, put them in order from the most water. So who had the most? Well, Annie did, because she's got the most. She's got a 5. That's there. Next one, Mike got a 3, and then Elise, that would be Greg. All right. So again, we can simplify and use the value because they all have the same number in it. Again, it had a 1 there. It's fine. But as long as they're the same, that's what's important. Which, watch what happens here now. All right. Now let's simplify here. Same as before. We can divide them both by 2. We're going to get a 2 to 1. Look what's going on here. What can I divide both of those by? Well, 2. All right, but look who's here now. 3 and a 2. And let's try the last one here. Here I can divide both of these guys by, yeah, 2 as well. So that's a 9 to 2. There you go. Do they have the same first numbers? No, they're different. Okay. Do they have the same second numbers? No, they don't. All right, so I can't make my comparison yet. I was able to do it in the previous one because they did have the same numbers. So what I'm doing here is I'm combing through the table and I'm looking to see where they all have something that's the exact same. And there's going to be other things that'll match up. Like you might find it in more than one spot. So I'm seeing here that, look at this, the juice concentrate of a 4, juice concentrate of a 4, juice concentrate of a 4. So here we go. This is what I'm going to compare. So here we go. Ooh, wait, I don't want to get too far. There we go. So what else do you need before you order them? All right. Well, we need to have the same number, all right, in the same spot. Because they all have 2s, but that's the first number. That's the second number. So again, you got to have the same number at the same time. So let's get an order now. Now that I see they all have the same numbers, 4s, all right, they all have 4s for their juice concentrates. Who's got the most water? Well, that's an 18, a 6, and an 8. Oh, there we go. My 18, that's it. Who is that? Yeah, that's Mike this time. All right, and then next, Greg. All right, and then last, yeah, we're working with Annie here. Okay, so what's really important out of this particular lesson is value is one technique that'll work, because sometimes it'll get us the same number. We need to simplify it. Or 2, we can just look in the table and just find someone that matches up. It doesn't matter where they're at, all right, as long as they match up. I got other ones here. Check it out. An 8, an 8, and an 8. Whee! All right. And then so I can compare them. And as you can see, the 36 is still larger. All right. Greg with the 16 and then Andy with the 12. So again, we can use the table to find similar numbers, and then we can make a comparison. But you got to have the same numbers. And that's what we're after in this particular amount. All right, people. There you go. You're done. Isn't that nice?